microphone input level 1098 7654 321 11.
break around 10 local time, and then we will return to carry on with our guest talks until 11. After guest talks have concluded, I will have a section um, to answer relevant questions coming from our attendees and also online. And on your table, we'll make sure that you have some cards to write all your questions so we can take note of them. Once we concluded our talks, the broadcasting will end and all of our attendees will be sorted in groups. So as you can see, you have a name tag with a different color. So we'll be sorting you in groups so we are able to do networking and also follow COVID protocols. So as I was saying, I'm extremely happy and honored to have the opportunity to present our guest speakers today, as well as to introduce the topic of women in transport. Today, roads dominate transport sector in most parts of Africa, covering up to 90% of passenger and freight traffic. This means that road transport and logistics are key enablers for economic development and prosperity. Most of us may have not yet realized the role of transport plays in our lives. But when the pandemic struck, we were reminded of how essential transportation is to connect individuals, businesses, and governments. So, take for example one of the most used tactics in war is to break the enemy's supply lines to undermine the enemy's ability to fight. So it's well known that famine makes greater havoc in army um, than the enemy, making broken communications more harmful than a sword. Sun Tzu, one of my favorite authors that wrote about leadership, said that knowledge that does not go beyond what generals know is not good, meaning that if a mission is not understood at all levels of an organization, then it is not good. So this is why we are all here today, not only to celebrate the women that have made a successful career in the transport sector, but also to share their motivation with other women to take part in the transport industry at any level to build key initiatives. We made it our commitment and part of our priorities for many years to come to open a forum of discussion, to learn how our colleagues in the professional field have offered valued skills in the transport industry, because as one of my old colleagues say, one cannot aspire to become if you don't know what exists. We are currently integrating women in our workforce at all levels, so they are able to participate actively to offer their own set of skills. And so with further ado, please let me welcome our founder and managing director of TMI's Business Solutions and Review, Mr. Tilash Murthy, that we have in the class. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and some gentlemen. It's nice to have you here. But I think TMI Simulation Solutions and Review would really like to welcome all of you who took the time out to come here today and share an opportunity with us to marvel and offer our respect for the women in transport. You know, transport is not an easy game, and it's a tough business. And the women that have stood up to that courage, thank you, because a lot of you bring sanity to the game. Otherwise, it would be total chaos if it was left to men to operate and run. But yeah, I think it's the first time I've been at an event like this, whether I'll be hosting it or not. But the opportunity for me is the prestigiousness of it, but yet the simplicity on the message that we try to send. it's road safety in our country is a challenge. The transport sector is in shambles, and we need everybody to work together to try and solve this problem, right? So I thought, how do I approach you? How do I speak to you? And I said to myself, maybe I should take this opportunity to honor the women in my life that made me the type of person I am. And there were many of them, to be honest. The first one was my mother, who had a wonderful life in South Africa, uprooted her whole family and moved to Australia. And this happened during the Gulf War. There were no jobs in Australia. There was gross changes in the Australian government, and she was forced to work night shifts as a cleaner. And this was crazy because my father built most of Belito. He built Newlands East. He built Phoenix. Most of those houses in those areas, my dad was the building contractor in part of a consortium that built them. And then we go to Australia. He was jobless. She was jobless. She only went to Standard 8 in South Africa because she lost her father at a very young age. And so she got married at the age of 18. She had me at 20. And she started working in Australia, which was crazy. But she did a brilliant job. She started as a cleaner at night and ended up owning the factory. Just by persevering and hard work, and I suppose it was the support from us as well. And today she lives a wonderful life in Australia. She really enjoys it immensely. I think I always say she's the princess of Melbourne because she knows everybody. She's in every community gathering. She's the chairman of the Hindu Society of Melbourne. She's the chairman of the ladies, what's this groups that ladies have where they go out and just have an opportunity to have fun and eat and drink and stuff. But they say they networking and drink social upliftment. She's part of all those things. But yeah, so that was my mom, and she really helped me along in good ways. But then after her, there was several others. And one woman that stands out to me was a lady by the name of Eva Soderstrom from Sweden. She was a small little lady, and when I say small, very dynamic, very small, but she was a dynamite. She literally ran the South African program for the defense acquisition between South Africa and Sweden. And she was up against all these soldiers and armies and Air Force pilots and generals that were trying to tell Sweden how they must build an aircraft to supply it to South Africa, and she stood her ground. And one day she came to me and she says, Tavesh, you work so hard, you do so well. Why don't you go start a company? And I'll support you. I'll tell Saab that they must give you some work and try and see how I do it. Because I'm tired of these guys trying to tell me what to do, but at the end of the day, they're not doing anything. I'm the one who's working my ass off, sorry for the language, but working hard here, and nobody's actually implementing. So that's how I started TMI Simulation Solutions. She gave me the platform, I took it, and basically our first client was Saab Aerosystems, second client was BAE Systems, and that's how we continued on. And then, the challenge we had in South Africa in 2009, and I don't want to talk about it, but we went through a major change in our government, and things started changing everywhere. And my colleague on the right there, Martin, and I one day were chatting, and he happened to watch news the night before, and so did I. And it was about a story of how the new Minister of Transport would like to see every matriculant graduate with a driver's license in the one hand and a matric exemption in the other hand. And Voucher was there, which was myself, Martin, and we were sitting down and we were thinking about it. And he says, what, this guy will never be able to do it without simulators. And not knowing anybody, not being political, I picked up the phone, I phoned the Department of Transport switchboard, and I said, what, I'd like to speak to somebody in doing this driver training thing. And eventually I got to the director of road safety and he called me into a meeting and there were two females in the meeting and himself and myself and another colleague who helped me carry all the stuff. So we went to game a few days before that and bought like these gaming controllers for steering wheel, pedals and stuff. And we literally went out there and put it on the table on the minister's boardroom, set up a screen and stuff. And we said, you know, if you want to teach people how to drive, and you want to teach every single 18-year-old how to drive, you got to use simulation. And this is how you do it. And they looked at us, and the two ladies didn't say a word. They just kept quiet. And they actually got us on the road to start up Drivio because they supported us in a lot of initiatives to get going, and it was amazing. And then we managed to be fortunate enough to meet a professor, Dr. Karen Myers, who then introduced us to like the banking sector, Standard Bank, and all these great people like Eric Parker, who was a founder of the franchising industry in South Africa. I mean, he's one of the greatest franchisors and franchise consulting companies. And they put us on the road to start up Drivio. And you know, we were happy, and I was very happy. And me being the lazy person that I am, I'm quite contented and in a comfort zone most of the time. Not because of money, just because I like to be alone, but I talk a lot. That's unfortunate. But anyway, you know, we were plodding along, and then in June or May, June last year, this young lady comes to me and she says, you know what, I'd like to transform your business. And I said, what do you mean? She says, no, you know, you guys got so much potential, but you're not doing things the right way. You're not doing it like this and stuff. And I said, okay, what are you going to do? So she says, can I write you a transformational plan? So I took this plan, I looked at it, and I said, I've been doing this for 15 years. How is this person going to try and transform our business in 18 months? And I thought to myself, let me just keep quiet. I sat on it, I thought about it. And in August, I invited my two colleagues, Walter and Anton, and I said, let's meet this lady. And let's see what she's going to offer us in terms of transforming our business into a global player in simulation and training. And so they joined me in the meeting and they sat and they listened to her. And around about September, we contracted her and we said, okay, we'll give you the opportunity. We got until November 2019 and let's see how it, 2021, sorry, 2021. Let's see how it goes, right? And so she started off quietly in a corner, working away, developing her plans and stuff like that. And then in April, she said to us she wants to do a maritime webinar for the international market. And we said, how are you going to do this? She said, okay, this is the plan. Got some people around her. And then we hosted one of the most successful global maritime webinars where we had people from all over the world, from east right up to the west, people from this kind of Fiji right to, I think, Hawaii on the other side. But lots of people participated. And then we started realizing that things are changing in this world. People are seeing things very differently. And today, the same person, single-handedly, I must admit, with the support of Anton and a few Walter and a few other colleagues, is pulling this event off. And for that, I'd like to thank her and tell her how proud we are of her and grateful for what she's done. And more so, we will support her on her journey, which ends very soon in 2021. But I think she's put us on the right trajectory. And we're proud of her for that. So, Mariana, thank you very much for today. And we really appreciate it. And we really look at it. First time for me, so I'm looking forward to this video. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so thank you so much. So it's my time to introduce Petra Kruger. She is a co-founder of the Road Safety Foundation, and she has headed up the Public and International Affairs Division from 2001, 2000, and later rolled out several road safety divisions in South Africa and the rest of Africa. She has a great experience in FIA, and WHO, on several safety road programs. Please let's give her a hand, Petra.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Mariana, for the opportunity to speak to you. As Mariana said, do I need a mic?
Yeah.
You can talk. You sit behind a desk all the time. You never see what happens out on the road. And don't accept that I joined Philip Hall and his team of paramedics. I'm from here in the Sparks, and I worked there for 10 years. Every Easter weekend, every December holiday, we provided assistance at road accidents on that piece of road. Why Van Riemen's Pass is it's actually a 60-kilometer section of road between Harrismith and Ladysmith where there are no ambulance, where there's no ambulance assistance. And Van Riemen is also on the border between the Free State and KwaZulu-Natal. So for provincial ambulances to assist there, they come up to the border, and if the accident is 100 meters into the other province, they can't assist. So we've reached that gap, and Philip, kudos to him, he's been in there for almost 40 years and still part of a group of volunteers, accepting no payment for it. But let me talk about women in transport and specifically women in road safety. As we all know, gender equality is basic human right. Now, I'm not a great feminist, it's just the reality of things as they are. The gender gap in road safety is bigger than we imagine. More than twice as many men as women have driver's licenses, and that's an international statistic, not just South Africa. Vehicle ownership internationally is male dominated. And a number of studies have shown that insecure transport facilities and infrastructure actually contain or constrain women's lives. So fewer access to social development opportunities, less access to education, and that needs to change. Without safe and secure travel options, women simply can't take advantage of the economic and social opportunities that they are. If we look at specifically at road safety, and it's international studies that have been done by the National Highway Traffic Safety Authority in America, by the World Health Organization, and the European Union. They show that women have a 47% higher risk of injury in a crash than men, and 5 times higher risk of whiplash injuries. And the reason for this is that cars are developed by men for men. No studies have been done on how a car crash affects a woman specifically. And this has led to a higher number of accidents where women are seriously injured, and a 70% more likelihood of being killed in a crash than men are. Sweden have developed female crash test dummies, but these are used mainly with women as a passenger so not behind the steering wheel, and they're very seldom used. They're used in about 2 to 4% of the crash test simulations in the world. So that definitely needs to change. And this is just an illustration done by the National Highway Traffic Association of injury vulnerability. And these are statistics that are not shared normally. I mean, that I've been involved in road safety for more than 20 years, and this is the first time that I see this kind of analysis being done. 22.1% more vulnerable or higher risk for women than men in head injuries. And this is women as drivers or passengers or rear seat passengers. Neck injuries, almost 50% higher risk. And you can look at these, and it's apparent and it's clear from this that the women as occupants and women as drivers in vehicles are not protected. Okay, not to be controversial, but who are the safer road users, men or women? Insurance studies have actually shown that women are safer drivers than men are. And the reason for this is that we often drive with our children in the vehicle. So we change our behavior to accommodate our loved ones. Men often drive alone in their vehicles or with their friends, which creates extra peer pressure. And they tend to drive faster at higher speed, drive more risky, and have less regard for the traffic law. In saying this, in South Africa, over the past 3 years, 112% more women than men have obtained their driver's licenses. And we're seeing the behavior on the roads by women change. In our, I don't know whether it's endeavor to gain equality, we've seen more riskier behavior from women on the roads as well. We've had more arrests for women driving under the influence of alcohol. We've had more arrests for women driving unsafely at higher speed. So I think that we need to be careful in gaining our equality to men, that we don't change our behavior on the road, that we maintain our risk awareness when we are driving as women. Okay, so where to from here? What concerns me is that all the information that I was able to get on women in road safety was international. We need to focus on South Africa, because as we know, we have a unique structure in South Africa in terms of pedestrian use. We have a much higher number of pedestrians than we have elsewhere in the world. We have women driving in public transport vehicles, so women as passengers. It's interesting that part of the study showed that women are not trained passengers as frequently as men are. I think it's because of the high risk and the dangers that are faced in our train transport industry at the moment. So we've got more women as bus passengers as well. And we need complete data in South Africa to better understand our unique challenges that we face to change the road safety situation in South Africa at the moment. I don't know whether you're aware of it, but at the moment the statistics show that about 45 people are killed on our roads every day. It's about 15,000 per year. And we need to investigate why this is happening. And it's been a situation since I've been involved in road safety for the past 20 years. We've looked at figures of between 20 and 15,000 people per year being killed. Just to put this in perspective, in the whole of Australia, in the last statistic I had was 2018, 1,400 people were killed on the roads. In December of that year, we killed as many people. So in 1 month, we killed as many people as Australia killed in a year. Another slide. Okay, sorry, the last slide is missing. Just in getting women involved in road safety and the improvement of road safety. Women as engineers have a huge opportunity in South Africa. When women study to become engineers, we tend to follow up or continue the path set by the predecessors who were male. We need to look at how do we design roads that are safe for all road users. Now, with the high number of pedestrians, do we create extra pedestrian facilities to ensure that they are separate from the road, that our pedestrians don't have to walk on the road surface, the same surface as the cars are using? Do we actually get involved in the design of vehicles and look what we can change there to make it safer for women? And I think when we, as women, put our minds together, we can come up with a solution. And I'm urging everyone that's involved here to do that sooner rather than later, so we can change the road safety situation in South Africa. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. Now I'm going to welcome Cindy Schomburg. She is a senior lecturer for the Road Traffic Management Corporation College. Her lectures on new qualifications and new traffic officers occurs nationally, and she is in charge of the project management for road safety, examiners for driving licenses, and also traffic orientation models and other legislations. So please let's welcome Cindy. I can hold the microphone for you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I'm so excited to stand here and address all the beautiful ladies. I didn't say the gentlemen are ugly. So what I want to say today, I'm so excited about the speaker that just presented now. It touched my heart because road safety is my heart. As they explained, my name is Cindy Shomwe. I'm from RTMC, Road Traffic Training Academy. I'm currently acting as a manager. Yes, I was a senior lecturer. Currently, I'm acting as a manager, and I'm appointed as a manager after acting. Before I start to that slide, I will just say something to say you don't just live as a woman and work only, you become something in road traffic or in a traffic fraternity. It needs a lot of hard working in order to be where you are. You need to be a good mentor to others, to other juniors under you, because you are not just a king or a queen. You have kids under you that needs to reach where you are. So you need to be a good mentor, you need to be a friend, you need to be an educator, to educate people who are reporting to you if they are junior lecturers or senior lecturers or traffic officers in the fraternity. I'm short before I get to my slide. You need to be a good promoter, where you must promote other women or other ladies. Don't want to take the cup always to say everything is Cindy. Other women under you as well want to be promoted through Cindy. Cindy must play a role to upgrade other women and other ladies there. Be an achiever. When you do something, I'm one person who believes on achieving. When you do a project with me, I want to win. Where's Brenda here? We are busy after rollout. I'm the coordinator of all the 9 provinces for the outdoor rollout, train the trainer and training all the law enforcement all over the provinces. And I see we are winning. I can give you guarantee on that one because we are strong women, okay? To motivate women, before I can tell you about this slide, I want to say, think like a queen. A queen is not afraid to fail. Failure is another stepping stone to greatness. It's true. Because a lot of women sitting down, the young ladies, young women, don't be scared to step to a new fraternity that you don't know anything. I was a teacher. before I joined traffic fraternity, I realized that I'm wasting my time because always when I'm driving on the road, I'm pushed by the taxi drivers. Then I said, what am I going to do to earn this road? Definitely. Then I said, if I was a traffic officer, I will move this taxi driver one side. When I see any reckless driver, I used to say, Ish, I wish I have all these powers. Then you know what? One day I wake up and said, I don't want to be a teacher. Let me go and train and wear the boots and hear the heat of the boots and the combat, that uniform that the police are wearing outside. Then I went to train as a traffic officer. Then when I completed my course, I felt all the powers. And I turned the country upside down. Because I was there in Metropolis, I make sure that the whole city of Tshwane is upside down. Because no one will drive reckless in front of me. Even now, no one will drive reckless in front of me. So what I'm saying, all women here, don't look any career down. Every career is very important. You are also important. Don't look yourself down, because I know as women we look each other down, or you undermine yourself to say, it's not for me. That one is not for me. It's somebody else. Thank you. So I'm in charge of managing the traffic college. We established a 21st century cadre. We've got these traffic officers, the existing one on our roads. We sat down and looked at them and said, no, we have to come with the changes here. You said people are dying on our roads. It's not only the road users causing that. Even as law enforcement officers are caused, we are the root cause. So we said as RTMC, let's come with the 21st century cadre. Let's train our traffic officer for 3 years, not a 6-month course. We want to produce an officer who can stand in court with the advocate or with the prosecutor, saying, yes, this is an offense. This person is not going out, must be arrested. We want to produce officers who will tomorrow say, this car is not roadworthy. We are not moving anywhere. Thank you. We've got, let me do that. Yes. We've got actually 15 modules that we introduced to our officers. We've got 15 modules. Okay. Yes, we've got 15 modules that we introduced to train our traffic officers. We've got general orientation, apply English communication, professionalism, National Road Traffic Act, additional road traffic law enforcement, administration, the APTO. We've got other legislations, I can mention them. So, our traffic officers will go through all these 15 modules, of which the existing one didn't go through all these modules. Some of the modules we adapted them from universities, like TUT, Tshwane University of Technology. Road safety is there, my lady. Road safety is there. KM11, road safety education and road safety system is there. Because we want our country to be safe. We want our road to be safe. We've got also practical modules, which is 8 modules. It consists of 8 modules. Ensure road safety on public roads. Apply tactical survival techniques, execute law enforcement, execute advanced driving, because we are tired of our officers who rush to the scene and they become a scene. Instead of attending the scene, our traffic officers bump each other and become a scene before they reach to the scene. Okay, so we said, no, let us train also our traffic officers on advanced driving so that they can able to move or to maneuver in a wet weather or whatever condition of weather. Maintain discipline. They must be disciplined. We don't want officers who are taking bribery anymore. It's a no-no. The women say no-no. It's a what? No. It's a no-no. So we have also tactical use of firearm. Our officers will be trained thoroughly on using the firearm. We don't want to see our officer just pull the gun and shoot on innocent people. And also we don't want to see our officers die or dying because of the criminal shot him. We normally say a useless police if you are killed with your firearm by a criminal. But we don't want such police. We want a police who can, or a traffic officer who can defend himself accordingly. Examiner of vehicles for fitness. Yes, my speaker, for road safety. The officer must be able to stop a vehicle and do thorough inspection. You understand me? No more this time of the officer stop a vehicle and said, okay, just brake. Oh, I see the brake light, now you can move. This car will cause a huge accident somewhere in Van der Waal Street. And it passed the officer someone in Pretoria Street. Examiner of licensing. We are training our officers to become examiners of driving licenses. We are training our officers to be examiner of motor vehicles. The entire country, even overseas, can get such officer who's got all these packages. Here in South Africa, we'll produce such 21st century cadre, and our training will flow or move to other SADC countries. We are proud of that. We've got also workplace experience. Our traffic officer won't be deployed before they will be subjected to workplace experience before they can consume their duties or start their duties. You can see the workplace experience, it will be 6 months. It's a process of regulating free flow of traffic. We are sick and tired to see traffic officers in the four-way stop. You can tell me as citizens, you are rushing to work, they are confused within the intersection. We don't know which one directing the vehicles to, isn't it? Some they're standing with water, isn't it? So we want to change the game. We are going to change the game. I'm there to change the game as a woman. And I'm looking for other women to help me to change the game. So what is happening? They will learn how to control traffic before they are appointed as traffic officers. Workplace experience, they will go for 6 months. Process of responding to managing incidents. Our officers, existing one, still must upskill them to understand how to manage incidents. As I said before, that you attend an incident as an officer, you become an incident as well, because you are not well trained. Okay? So our officers will write also the integrated examination after they completed all the practicals, all the 50 modules, including the practical modules. Therefore, they will qualify to be traffic officers, trained for 3 years, well trained, call them 21st century cadre. We are saying we are proud with this qualification because our officer will be fit. Our officer don't drink Coke and pap. They're not eating pap. They eat healthy. Real physical training is a daily break. Our officers are subjected to physical training, including maneuvers, every day, because we want them to be fit. I'll step down for now. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Cindy. We will have our short break and we'll be back in around 5-10 minutes. Thank you. Okay. Thank you. We'll carry on. Um, Kathy Bell has built up expertise as a transport industry specialist since 1986. Currently, she's the head of transport solutions and asset finance. Her work at BSA and Standard Bank for more than 17 years has inculcated a passion for the transport industry, underpinned by promoting sustainability in a complex and competitive transport industry. So, Kathy, you go. Let's give her a hand. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Since you got it on. It is on. Thank you. So, good morning, everyone. So, in the room today, we've got a bunch of very enthusiastic persons that are keen around road safety and promoting road safety, all those marvelous things. And I guess you want me to stand here with that, is, hey? It's not going to quite work because I'm going to walk around. Okay, so the short version is, who knows what this means? Who's seen that gorgeous sound on the trucks? Who? Put up your hands. I want to see hands. I want to see enthusiasm, participation. RTMC. Do you know that sound? Michelle Witt. Yeah, do you know that? Yes. Yeah, okay. 100%. Okay, so the road transport management system is actually a self-regulating standard, and it is promoting the change of behavior at a company level, at a driver level, at an industry level, at a sector level. And it has had fantastic, tangible outcomes. We have more than 280 companies that have adopted RTMS. We've got more than 40,000 trucks, trailers, and buses that are part of the RTMS program. So what is this RTMS thing? It's almost similar to RTMC, but it's RTMS. One is the corporation, government-owned, a lead agency for road safety. But we don't take a back seat to the lead agency. We work together. So from an industry point of view, what have we done? Let's go to the next slide. Let me show you what we've done. So that is the quick definition of what it is. But the 4 things I need you to know are safer drivers, safer loads, safer trucks, safer roads. That's what you need to know. I'm going to put this mask down because I'm going to be pointing at you and waving it all over the show. All right. So those are the 4 key things. If we look at the standard, it's a self-regulation standard. It's called SAN 3095. It is the only, the camera must not wait, self-regulating standard in the world. South African National Standard, so South African National Standard, it is the only standard that has been developed by industry, for industry, with the support of government to change behavior tangibly. How many case studies do you think we have? Meneer, how many do you think we have? Yeah, that's okay. I'll give you the answers, don't worry. Just say you're not sure. It's okay, I'll always give the answers. So we've got multiple case studies from operators from the very big to the very little. From Sunshine Bennett, that started with 6 quarter trucker 6 years ago, that now is over 90. Not 1990. And you know why? Because Sunshine adopted a self-regulation standard. And Sunshine history, I won't go into too much detail, it's quite interesting. He was an orphan, and he lived in Mealyfields, in Mpumalanga. And the farmer said to him, come back to my backswinkel. English version, come work in my workshop. He started as a cleaner. He worked himself up to becoming a driver. But then he actually became one of the logistics specialists. He now has his own company with over 90 trucks. And Sunshine will tell you that many moons ago,